here's the thing, like I don't want to talk down on anyone, and I respect everybody who's putting their music out there. I really do. Like that, like
for sure.
Because for everybody who's putting their music out there, there's 1,000 people that are too afraid to like even try, even to step in the booth. And if you're making music, you're making music. That's that on that.
Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of the people who listened to that conversation, I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda and iced coffee and not a water. I apologize. Off camera, you didn't get a water. But, you know, all that shit's in the fridge. So, yeah. And I think that's the whole intro. I got distracted. Sometimes I fuck myself up because I try to throw in little extra things.
Shit happens.
How are you with muscle memory? You're a performer. You do music. We'll get into that in a minute. But before I even introduce yourself, you know, when it comes to performing, you have a hard time remembering your shit. You ever get that moment where like you're on stage and you're all fucking hype and you're excited and then like, oh fuck, the verse.
Oh yeah, all the time. all the time. All the time.
It's so
the number of times I've had to freestyle a verse on stage.
Yeah. It's
and some people like my friends will be like, James, I know you forgot that. I'll be like,
so for anybody out there that doesn't know who I'm sitting next to today, I'm sitting next to a new friend we just met 2 minutes ago downstairs in the lobby. Patek? Patek.
Yes.
Pick Patek. Make some noise for the internet.
Thank you.
So, Pick, happy to have you here. For those that don't know you, why don't you tell the world and me what it is exactly that you do?
Okay. Well, I make music. I'm a rapper. I'm a singer. I'm a producer. I also just started engineering. I just opened up my studio. But I kind of do everything. Started off rapping in 5th grade. Did it for fun. Made some CDs for my friends, you know. And then senior year of high school came around, and I'd been kind of doing this like every now and then. And my friend Noah was like, "Yo, like we could actually try to like do this."
Yeah.
And I was like, I have nothing better to do. So yeah, we just like. Basically, like all of senior year, we just worked on music. And he had been singing in like choir all his life, so he knew how to sing. And like he was telling me how to sing, and I was like teaching him how to rap and stuff like that because I had like been practicing rapping for like years. And we just kind of like fed off each other. And then went to college. Had this song Off White. I released it the summer before college. Came to college with that. So college kids didn't hear like my high school stuff. They didn't hear like anything older than
the 5th grade stuff. They didn't know about it.
Yeah, literally. All they heard was the song Off White, which was like my best song. So I was like,
that's what's up.
Yeah. And you know, every high school has their SoundCloud rapper. Every college has their SoundCloud rapper. And you know, I was like, I'm a rapper. Listen to my music. They were like, fuck. And then like they actually heard my music and they're like, oh, okay.
Cool.
And they started vibing with it. And like they cut like all my new friends at college that kind of inspired me to keep making music. And you know, ever since then I've been basically doing it like full time in addition to classes.
That's what's up. I think the thing that's really cool about your particular story and just a thought that I had was like first impressions and how much that matters.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes, you know, in the era of social media, it's really easy to get connected and it really doesn't matter exactly where you're from, but there's still those first impressions that you make on people.
Yeah.
So I think you probably lucked out in the sense of people not knowing about the like 5th grade shit, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or like the high school shit.
Cause like I released it.
Were you releasing stuff under the Pick Patek name or was it a different name?
So I was going by, in 9th grade I went by OG Pick.
Okay.
In senior year, I dropped the OG and just went by Pick, and added the Patek at the end of senior year.
Okay.
So some people in high school know that. But yeah, college, it's always been Pick Patek.
Cool. So when it comes to like, you know, marketing and getting music out, outside of, being on college or being in college on college campuses, which is like a fucking awesome area to just be able to do word of mouth shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is, your social media presence like, and how does that affect your stuff? Do you fuck with it a whole lot, or are you more just like organic grassroots type shit?
So, like, I don't really like social media that much. But I kind of have to use it because it's like, like that's how I connect with people that I don't see on a day-to-day basis. Like, that's just, there's no other way around it in this day and age. Like, I'm not big enough that like I can just go AWOL for 4 years like Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
that must be nice, right?
I envy him, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 34. And I've been doing music since I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And with hip hop, rock, metal, all kinds of shit. Played in a bunch of different bands all over the place. But like when I was fucking coming out of high school, 18 years old, it was like MySpace was like the new thing. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like on our fucking phones and all that shit. So it's like I just came up like making music, learning how to like promote and tell people about it like in an organic way. Like it was never like, oh, I got to make sure this fucking flyer's on all my profile picture on my Twitter and all this stuff. And now I'm like trying to like stay on top of that stuff, but it's just not how I was wired. So I have such a hard time getting into it. Yeah. And I'm really curious now because like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming early 20s.
I'm 20.
20.
Yeah.
All right. 20. And with that being said, like I've been having this interest because it seems like a lot of people I talk to that are younger, they're getting more into that, like, social media shit. I don't really fuck with it. Like, do you feel like a lot of your peers are like that, or is that maybe just something you think you're a little more unique in that sense?
There's definitely a significant number of people I know who are just like always, like, not to like talk down on them because I respect them, but just be on social media like a lot. And like I'm on social media a lot. Like I can't lie. Like I'm on Instagram. That's my main social media.
I was gonna ask, dude, because like I was like trying to like look up to find some more stuff on you. Do you have a Facebook page?
I don't.
Okay, I didn't think you did.
Yeah.
And like you're probably one of the first people that I've talked to, and also, you're one of the first people I've talked to in a while that doesn't have like a Facebook page for their brand.
Yeah.
But you're also probably one of the youngest people I've talked to in a while. So I'm really curious about like the core, like how that like aligns. And I feel like, a lot of people say like, Facebook's dying, especially with like younger people. And I feel like
none of my friends now use Facebook.
None of your friends use it.
No. And so I just feel like my fan base is going to be like high school, college, shortly after college kids. And none of those people use Facebook like at all. Like, and especially like the younger kids, like my brother, he's in 10th grade, I think.
Yeah.
He's in 10th grade. They all use like Snapchat.
Okay.
So, and like Instagram, he doesn't even have Facebook. So it's like to me, it's like, I don't want to spend time working a social media angle that doesn't actually have an impact.
Yeah.
In like, especially in hip hop, like even famous rappers, their Facebook pages are so dead. Like, just like there's nothing on them. So I just didn't feel like doing that.
That's fair enough.
I have Instagram because I like the concept of Instagram a lot better. Just like sharing pictures and stuff. And I think that now that they kind of have all the features of Snapchat and Facebook, like it's really like a one-stop shop for everything. That's not to say like it's like that's all you need, because like you need other stuff. I'm not good at having that other stuff. I'm not good at Twitter.
What about TikTok? You fucked with that yet?
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
I keep hearing people like,
everybody loves TikTok.
Insider people saying like it's the way, if you're doing music, if you're doing hip hop,
it is the wave. No, it is the wave. It is the wave, and you have to be on it. The thing is, it's just like I don't get it. I don't know. I'm just not a social media person.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's just what it comes down to,
I feel like there's this interesting thing where like you're a creative type, you're a songwriter, right? You make music. You're not this fucking like, I feel like what you need to be if you want to have like a thriving Snapchat or TikTok is something a lot different than maybe what you are. Like, it's just not what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's like it taps into this other side of your personality. I always joked about being having like a Facebook and a Twitter and an Instagram and all this shit. Like, they all cater to different personality traits,
Yeah.
and trying to use them all at once makes me feel like I'm like schizophrenic or something.
Yeah.
Like, with me personally, I feel like I'm an Instagram person. Like I like that the most, but I still have Facebook and Twitter. Those are like the three that I use, but I barely use the fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
And like the Facebook's just there because that's like a lot of people I know still use it. But
You kind of have to.
that's because I'm fucking 34 years old. So
Yeah.
like we grew, that like we came up with that, you know what I mean? And like it's hard for me to try to like talk to people that are like in my fan base about like, yo, you on Snapchat, you on TikTok, that's so weird. It's like there's like a generational disconnect, it seems.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. It's so weird. But to get off of social media and back into your music, like what are you doing right now? What's the most recent project you've dropped?
So I released this project called Modern Art in September, late September. This is sweatshirt. This is Modern Art. But I worked since basically January through August on it. First project I got professionally mixed and mastered. Very proud of it. Did a lot of production on it, which I'm not used to doing. Tried a lot of new like types of songs. I really tried to make something that like people hadn't heard before.
Sure.
And I feel like to some extent I succeeded in that. A lot of people really like it. It's definitely like my best project, best body of work. Very proud of it. And it's interesting because like Modern Art to me was like the project that I can now go to like anybody and be like, look, this is me. I'm a rapper. Take me seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like my freshman year of college project When in Oakland. It had some good songs on it, but as a whole, it didn't have the professional sound. And Modern Art has that professional sound. And Modern Art can be like, it can be shown to like labels or like literally whoever. And people will be like, oh, this is like actually good. Yeah. And like, while at the same time, it's like when you say, oh, you're actually good, it's like, oh, you thought I was going to be bad. But like, I don't know. It's a good feeling when it's like, oh, like I'm actually going to give you the recognition that
it's
you
funny
deserve at this point.
You got a lot of people right now, especially in the rap world or just, anything that's like hip hop adjacent, whether that's like, more like R&B or soul or pop, anything in that fucking element. There's a lot of people that are almost the exact opposite of what we were just talking about with us, where it's like, say like, you're really passionate about the music. It's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like the social media and shit, like you couldn't care less.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that just rap as an excuse to use their social media, and they're real fucking good at social media, but their music's like, meh, whatever. Yeah. So it's like really, it's funny. Like there's like those parallels of mindsets now. And the people that I think that ends up becoming a thing where, oh, you rap. Because there's so many people that say they do this shit, and then it's like, it's mediocre. Because it's like they more or less are just doing it because it's like either like chasing clout or just like they want to pretend to be like, oh, I'm a fucking rapper. So they shit out a song, and then they have this awesome social media page. Yeah. So whenever somebody like you that maybe doesn't have like this like huge social media thing, you're not all on it all the time. Like, oh, I rap. It's just kind of like, oh, do you rap? And then they listen to it like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's like real hard for people to take you seriously unless you have like these numbers and things that are associated with it that really have nothing to do with the music. What I mean? It's all superficial shit.
The thing is, there's so much music out there though. Like there has to be like a baseline of some sort for people to listen. Like that's why pop music exists. It's like, okay, I can go to like this like genre of music and pretty much guarantee that it's going to be like a decent song or like, easy to listen to, catchy, whatever, whether or not you like pop music. That's like a guarantee with it. And then, as you start to get less and less popular, some people be like, oh, like the best music is like underground music because it's like very niche and it's like very directed at a certain group of people. So like, I forgot where I was going with that. But I don't know. I think that like to bring it back to the point about rappers, just sort of like rapping for the clout and stuff like that, that's almost like, it's like very formulaic. Like it's anybody can write a song about like very like simple elements.
Yeah.
And, you know, not go too deep into it. Like nowadays, like rappers like to rap about like being sad and lonely and brokenhearted about a girl or something like that, or drugs, stuff like that. And it's like, that's like so easy to rap about. And it also, to me, like, and here's the thing, like I don't want to talk down on anyone, and I respect everybody who's putting their music out there. I really do.
Yeah.
Like that, like
for sure.
Because for everybody who's putting their music out there, there's 1,000 people that are too afraid to like even try, even to step in the booth. And if you're making music, you're making music. That's that on that. To me personally, I'm a perfectionist, and I want people to see me in a certain way. Whether that's egotistical or not, like I don't care. Like that's just what I want. I would not be okay with myself if I blew up off of a song that I didn't like of my own.
Yeah.
And so like what I try to do is I try to say things, even if it's about like very generic topics. Like I really do my best to like try to work on my writing to a point where it's being said in like a nuanced way. If that kind of makes sense.
No, it does make sense. I think that it's really, really, really important, regardless of what you're talking about, to just talk about what you want to talk about. Write the songs that you want to write. So, 'cause I mean, the only way that people are actually going to catch on to what you're doing and ride your wave is if they genuinely like fuck with your voice, your vision.
Yeah.
But if you're putting all your effort into being something that you're not, I feel like people were going to see through that. And then the people that do connect with you, like say you were to blow up on something that you weren't, now you got to put up this fucking facade for the rest of your career being something that you don't want to be.
And to me, it's like, okay, like I don't make music to like be famous. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like, I want to do this for a living because this seems like the most fun and relaxing and just like enjoying. Like it's just like, it's what I'm good at. It's what I want to do. In the same way that some people are good at business, some people are good at like, you know, marketing, stuff like that. Like I'm good at music. That's the best thing I'm at. I'm best at music.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good to know that, to know what you're good at.
Yeah.
And to ride that wave. And for things that you aren't good at, get people on your team to help you with those things. Because with the way things are now, it's really interesting because almost in order to succeed, you have to be good at fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be...
Or you have to have a team.
It's really hard to be just the rapper anymore. You know, you also have to be the engineer and all these things like you were talking about. You got to wear all these hats.
Because everybody is doing, like everybody either does it all or has people that do do it for them. So and it's like you have to be playing on the same field as these people, and you can't even like enter that arena without having the team and like you like being able to do all this stuff.
Yeah. And even if you aren't doing all of it, like say you're producing some of your tracks, but you have, you know, you're working with other producers too. It's good that you know how something's engineered. So like say, you know, you're working with another producer and they send you a track, you could be like, yo, like I really like this, but them hi-hats need to come up or down. You know, like you can make little critiques, whereas like somebody that may not understand how those things work, you know, they have a problem with the mix, but they don't know how to vocalize it. Yeah. Like having that knowledge makes things so much better for you. But having people being able to help you on your team is fucking crucial. It's so important. So that was one thing I wanted to move into. Because this was, you know, we set up this interview through somebody I think was a manager or somebody of you. I can't remember. Somebody emailed me and it was connected. Like we didn't talk directly. So I wanted to talk to you about like your team and what it's like working with other people and what your circle's been like.
Okay. So Mello's my manager. He's been managing me for a little bit now. And he just moved to LA pretty recently. But still like he's putting in work every day. And he's one of the hardest working people I know.
This is another thing I want to put out there too, which is actually really interesting, not to keep bringing up like this generation gap, but I think there's a lot of interesting things I'm seeing. Because another interesting thing from this transaction, the past few people that I've had on the show that have been younger have communicated to me through like managements and have had like teams of people, whereas some of the people that I talk to that may be older, it's all like very direct. Like they're not working with teams. And it's just interesting to see like younger people. I don't know if it's maybe just me, like I'm just seeing this, or if this is actually a thing where it's like younger people are thinking more business minded about building those teams, like moving into doing this type of stuff. And it's not so like, it's DIY for sure. Like it's still independent, but it's like independent through much more collaboration than what I see a lot of people that are a little bit older doing.
Yeah. I would agree. Like I think most rappers I know are trying to build a team, or they have a team. Like, you know, like if this one rapper showing up, he's showing up with like his producer, his engineer, like whoever. And you know, they just always have their people that they can rely on. And I think that's maybe it's more specific to like hip hop. Maybe it's more specific to the younger generation. But regardless, there's a lot of young guys doing rap music.
Yeah.
So either way, yeah, I think everybody kind of has this team mentality where they can't do it on their own. And they're realizing a lot of people will try to put out a song, think they're going to get famous overnight. It won't happen. And then they realize, oh, like I actually need to put in some work here. I can't do this all myself. I need a team.
It's super, super important because it seems like at the end of the day, if you're just out there trying to tell people about yourself, it's like people won't take it seriously. But if they hear from somebody else that you're dope, then they'll give it a chance. Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I know people that like they self book their shows when they're getting stuff out of town, but it'll just be like manage like blah 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 management. It's really just them, but they like talk as if they're going through another party because nobody wants to be like, yo, please book me in LA. But if somebody's like, hey, this is Brian, I represent Sykes, who wants to come play LA. It's the same fucking person, but you know, they don't know that, and you actually get more attention off of that. Yeah. This is like weird little trick in the system type of shit. It's so silly. With the projects that you're doing now, and you mentioned that you played a show last night, right? I did, yeah. It was your first headlining show. Let's dig into that a bit. Where was the show at?
Smiling Moose, Southside.
Cool. How'd it go?
It was very good. I sold about 60 tickets for it. All the other artists sold a bunch of other tickets. Yeah. But yeah, there were like 10 artists on the lineup.
Okay, that's a lot.
It started at 6. It went till I ended at 9:30.
Okay.
So 2.5 hours of music.
Wow. So like these are like short sets. I guess that's a power of hip hop sets, right?
Yeah, shorter for sure. My set ended up being about 30. This one other kid, he had about a 30-minute set, and everyone else was like no longer than 20, I would say.
So with all of those artists, were these all artists that you know and have like worked with before, or were this a mixture of things?
Myself, the only artist that I had worked with on that lineup was the artist who went right before me, Burkett. He and I have done songs together. And then like the artist who went before Burkett, his name is Douglas. He like we know each other through social media. We had never met, but like you know, we're cool with each other.
Were they all like Pittsburgh based artists?
Yeah, they're all Pittsburgh. All Pittsburgh based. Put up this the show was put together by this kid Mike. He's still in high school, but he put the whole thing together.
That's super cool.
Yeah, he reached out to me. He reached out to like everyone else. He was just like, let's do this. I was like, word.
Cool.
I'll sell the tickets. Just get the venue.
Yeah. With playing a show around that many other local artists that, you know, you aren't familiar with or you haven't worked with before, that just seems crazy to me. It's so funny, but I think it's just like the way things are working now. There's so many people doing rap that you said, like you mentioned, it's crazy to think. Like, I don't know the last time I played a show that was all local bands and I didn't know who they all were. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just like a result of me doing this show and being more tied into shit. But with basically the point I'm trying to get to is, do you feel that there's like a tight knit hip hop community or rap community in Pittsburgh, or do you feel like everybody's like has these little bubbles and they're kind of, it's starting to slowly come together?
I don't think there's a community. I think it's small little bubbles. I think that there's sort of bigger bubbles than others, but for the most part, from what it seems to me, is that there's just like small little camps that are cool with each other, but it's not like we're all collectively gonna rep like this one artist and then we're all gonna rep like this other artist.
Sure.
It's just like, it's really like fans stay loyal to each other. Like fans from one artist aren't gonna pop out to another show.
Sure.
Like, that's just how it is. It's weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. People talk about like how do you get the scene to come together, and I don't know if we're supposed to. And like thinking about like all the time that I spent in independent music scenes, I don't know if this is any different than it's ever been. I think the only thing that's different is that there's just more fucking people doing it than there were before. Yeah. So like there's like, we'll say like, 15 years ago, there may have only been like a small handful of talent, but now that's like times 10 because it's so much easier to do all this shit. And I don't know what it is, but there's a lot more people doing it. So I feel like it's made all the bubbles a little bit smaller because there's like less artists, or there's more artists to like, I don't know, like each artist kind of creates their own bubble, and there's a lot more of that. So there's just more bubbles as a result. But I think the mentality's always been that way. Mm-hmm. People don't want to be your fan. They want to be your friend. So people just come and like, they just fuck with their friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, even if people don't know you, it's like, so like somebody them trying to hook up with is going to be at this show, so I'm going to go to that show. Like, weird, like small circle type shit.
Yeah. For me, it's like the people that I don't know that come to my show, it's like friends of friends, or it's like, if they're there for another artist and then they're like, oh, you're good, then like we'll link and we'll talk. But it's like to make like new fans, at least for me, like it's like a very personal experience. Like you actually have to go talk to them, even if it's just for like a sec, even if you're just saying hi. Like,
yeah, it's important.
You can't really just expect people to just like fall in love with you just because you're on stage. Anyone can go on a stage. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Like it's not hard. And you just kind of have to be doing more than everyone else to make people sort of center around you.
Like more in terms of performance, or just more,
everything?
Just
everything.
In general. Yeah.
So like your live sets have to be crazy. And like after and before, you need to be like in the crowd talking to people and stuff like that. And like that's something I'm still working on. Like I'm not saying I have all the keys. I'm saying I know what needs to happen. I'm not saying I don't know how. I don't know how that's gonna happen.
I feel like you're still very early in your journey.
Yeah.
Again, 20 years old. You've been doing this shit since you said 5th grade. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, like since real, high school. So I mean, it's been like what, like
2-3 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years, something like that. So how many shows do you think you've played in those 2-3 years? Do you know?
Maybe like 20 or 30.
Okay, that's not a bad number.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Do you get to go outside of the city at all, or are you still just kind of focused in Pittsburgh? Because like I imagine you're still in school and stuff here, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have like those commitments.
Yeah. We had we were actually supposed to have a show in Bloomsburg, but that got canceled right as we showed up.
Oh,
so we
no.
drove all the way out there for no reason. It was
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's
shit happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I see like I grew up in Philly, so I had shows in Philly back in high school, but
okay.
Now it's pretty much all Pittsburgh.
How do you handle this Philly Pittsburgh rivalry?
I gotta tread lightly here. See, like I don't really follow sports like that.
Yeah, I got you. I'm the same way.
So I'm not. I just won't speak on it.
Yeah,
I'm a Giants fan. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, dude. We were playing a show recently in Michigan.
Yeah,
and it was just like, it's like some new violence from Pittsburgh, and someone was like, "Penguins suck." And it was like, like some other dude in his 30s. I'm like, oh, yeah. Cool. Adults, sports, word. Yeah. Like, like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
But I get it. People just kind of want to throw their jabs out there. People that are into sports get it. I don't know. I never was a big sports guy.
I always mess with people who are into sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
I've been saying I'm a Browns fan lately to all my friends from Pittsburgh.
Fuck it. Cleveland's tight, like as a city. Again, I don't know anything about sports, but they have a tight music scene. So,
Do they?
oh yeah,
I've never been.
yeah, it's a good city. If you like music and food, it's a good place to go. Hang out. Yeah, there's good restaurants, good venues.
Tough.
Awesome music scene. With you coming up, then you mentioned you started doing this rap shit in 5th grade.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? Do you had people that did music in your family, or was this just like you and your friends fucking around getting into music?
This was just me and my friends. My dad can kind of play the guitar. That's about it.
Is your family like behind you on the music shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are. They came out to the show last night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
From Philly?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they came all over Philly.
That's what's up. And with your friends that you like were rapping with back then, are any of them still fucking with it?
That was like, elementary school. Like,
yeah.
I haven't really talked to those kids in years.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
I don't even know what they're doing.
It's so funny because really similar, like me and my buddy started doing rap shit in like 7th grade. Right. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't talk to any of those people anymore. I don't think they're doing music, but I feel that like the only reason that they were doing it was because like I was really into it.
Yeah.
So
that
I
was
just
definitely the reason.
That's kind of like
they're not doing it.
I just roped them into it.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of those kids that were actually pretty nice when it came to bars. Like, I mean, granted, we're talking 8th grade, but you know what I mean? Like they like were really natural, and nobody had musical backgrounds. That was the thing. Like nobody grew up with like training, or nobody was in band, but people still understood like rhythm and melody and stuff. It was kind of cool. Every once in a while, I like to go back and listen to some of that shit. You ever listen to some of your old shit?
Oh yeah.
Want some throwback stuff?
In 6th grade, my friends didn't know I did this, but I signed them all up and myself to rap at the talent show. And then I went and told them, I was like, I signed y'all up to rap. So like, what you gonna do? Cause like me and my friend, Will, we wrote all of their raps too.
Okay.
And then I think he ended up writing my verse and I ended up writing up his verse cause we liked each other's verses better. But yeah, we just went up and did it.
That's what's up.
I just kind of roped them all in like that.
How'd it go?
It went well. It was we had the closing set. It was lit.
All right. So you've been headlining sets for a while then.
I guess that was my first headlining show.
You got anything coming up on the horizon? You working on any new projects right now? I know you just dropped one, but
I'm always working. I'm working on something. I don't want to say much about it because I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
It's there. We got a couple songs.
Are you going to be, I know you mentioned that there aren't any other shows coming up right now. So just kind of in the lab doing stuff, promoting stuff online, doing that thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Doing that. I saw these hoodies. Like I'm trying to sell those. I'm trying to just promote any way I can, in person, Instagram, whatever. It's finals coming up, so I guess I have to focus on school too.
Oh, okay. When it comes to school, like what are you doing at school? Like what are you gonna be when you grow up?
I'm doing music.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm doing music. I'm a CS major, computer science, which is like interesting because in high school I was very like into computer science, and like I'm still into computer science, but I'm not as into computer science as I am into music.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's just like a lot of time spent on school that for a degree that I'm probably not going to use. But I'm finishing it out because I'm this close. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good experience. I like my friends.
That's nice.
I'm not in any rush to like go do music for a living because I feel like I'm not ready for it yet. In a year or two, I'll be ready.
What don't you think you're ready to do?
Well, that's interesting. I guess like I guess it would be I guess it would be like I guess I'm not ready for I don't I don't know if I can spend 40 hours a week working on music yet,
Fair enough.
because it's like it's like creativity is like you have to find new sources of it every time.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like I'm used to like in between school and everything, like now I run like my studio, 6 a.m. studios, like I've started recording people there, $20 an hour, by the way, anyone wants to pull up, but but that, like, I've been doing that pretty much in all my free time. So like the time that I spend on my own music is like very sporadic. It's just like here and there. It's like, okay, I have to like put everything into like this 1 hour time block that I have, which is like, it's great because like I'm very productive in that 1 hour time block. But then it's like at the same time, like, what if like if I do this professionally, that's like 8 hours at least every day just working on music, and then other time spent on like other stuff. And like I want to know that like I'm going to be able to do that. So like I'm trying to like I'm trying to like level up before I go like full time with it, if that makes sense.
The rap shit is interesting because when it comes to that creative process, I mean, writing a rap song is no different than writing a rock song or anything like that. I mean, you don't have an idea, then you got to figure out if you're making the beat, you got to figure out the melody and shit, and the rhythm and stuff, and then you got to write some words. It's like writing any song.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of time, like if you're in a rock band, a lot of that time gets spent, like once you wrote the song, like you're practicing it and you're rehearsing it.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like rehearsing a lot when it comes to sets?
Yeah. Mainly because I have, so like nobody wants to go, especially go and like pay to see like an artist who just goes and that like clearly does not know it, like just standing on stage rapping.
Yeah.
Like no stage presence, like just like just playing the song and then just rapping over vocals, like stuff like that. And like I used to do that, and like now I'm really trying to like practice my live sets, like even when I don't have a show coming up, like
Yeah, I think it's important.
like when this beat drops, I'm gonna do like this dance move or something like that. And like it's literally as intricate as that. And I mean, it's obviously not where it needs to be yet, but I really try to make it worth everybody's while to come out to see my shows, because if like, it sucks if you're a friend and you don't like your friend's music, but you feel like you have to support them anyways. And like I don't want that for my friends. I don't want that for like any followers that feels obligated to like come out to my shows.
Sure.
So yeah. So in terms of like actually like writing the song and like recording it, not too much rehearsal, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like a lot of times with like a band, and you have instruments and shit, like you got to rehearse the fuck out of it before you even record it.
Yeah.
But it's so much different for rap. Like you save so much time.
Yeah, it's a very efficient thing to do.
So, and I mean, like, but that's the thing is like when you think about the idea of like just writing music 8 hours a day, like full time, nobody's fucking doing that, because sometimes people were just like rehearsing what they already wrote.
Yeah.
But you have all this extra time where, maybe you can focus on like, putting energy into like putting together visuals and social media stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like, you're not always writing music.
Yeah, no, it's not always writing music. There's other things like that 8 hours can be spent like learning how to produce more, just like going to other people's sessions and like watching the process. Like it, like there's so much that goes into like making a song.
Yeah.
That like there's always more to learn. And like
always,
I feel like right now I feel restricted because it's like the time that I spend on music, on my own music, is time spent making music, and there's not much time spent like learning, and I just don't have the time to do that.
I mean,
right
I
now.
think you can be learning and making simultaneously, but the problem is you have to do stuff that isn't as good as you want it to be for a while. Like we talked about, like, you playing shows, and like when you were starting out, like you weren't moving around as much. Or like you mentioned now this new project, the Modern Art Project, like it sounds professional versus like your older stuff. It's like with everything, it's like nobody comes out the gate, hitting home runs. You got to stumble for a bit, and the only way to like really learn and figure that things out is like you kind of got to suck for a little bit.
Yeah,
that's all right.
This is the reality.
You got to stay persistent through the suck.
Yeah, you really do. No, that's facts. That's really facts.
With the so you're on Instagram.
Yep.
That's your main thing.
Yep.
Where can people find you on Instagram?
At Patek. Patek.
Simple enough. And if you got stuff on Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff, where are you at?
Literally everything. Just search Patek. It's a unique enough name that I don't have to like make weird handles. So just literally Google it. It like the first 10 links are all me. And yeah, that's where to find me.
Cool. And, you know, with all that being said, we're probably going to wrap this up here in a couple minutes. Is there anything else that you want the people to know?
So, you know, coming up, I did forget to mention, trying to plan a little college tour. So if you're in college and you're watching this, hit me up if you want me to come to your college.
Yo, actually, I got a good fucking question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So you have a majority of people that you're telling me, you know, don't fuck with Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know people that fuck with podcasts? And if they do, how do they find out about them? Because how should we promote this episode?
That's an interesting question.
What would be the most efficient way to promote this episode for your target demographic?
Oh, see, all right. my thought is this. So my friends love like rap podcasts. They love Sway. They love like Ebro, like all like everybody.
All right.
They watch all those. They watch them more than me. Yeah. Like they're always like, "Yo, have you heard this?" I'm like, "No, like I just don't watch that." but I really don't know how they find out about them. But like, I think like just putting like maybe like a 30-second clip of like the best part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
That'll already happen.
And just putting that anywhere. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job.
No.
But
well, that's
but I'm just trying to think.
The thing that fucks me up is like, you know, so when it comes to social media, I have the biggest social media following on Facebook. I mean, I have Instagram too. Yeah. And the podcast is also on Spotify and iTunes and all that shit.
Yeah.
But like the biggest group, the biggest interactions that I get are on Facebook. But you tell me you have a generation of friends that don't even fuck with Facebook, and it's like
they watch them on YouTube.
There's a whole demographic of people that I'm not tapping into. Yeah, the show's on YouTube too. My YouTube fucking shit is so low. See, what happened was I started this podcast a while ago, but I wasn't doing video. The video thing's more recent. Yeah. So by the time I started doing video and I made
video's the wave though.
By the time I started doing the video and I fucking made the YouTube page, like everybody that was fucking with the podcast was already fucking with it everywhere else. So now the YouTube's just like a slow crawl, just trying to get up there. You know what I mean? Like fucking, you know, Facebook will be like 1,000 downloads. YouTube be like 20.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Well, I guess that's still 20 people that wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So fuck it.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
That's 20 views. That's 20 people.
Yeah.
It's not 0 people.
It's just when I go back to thinking about like the numbers and how that reflects on your shit, like somebody like goes onto my fucking thing, you know what I mean? Like they don't go on Instagram, they don't go on Facebook, they just go on YouTube and they see like, oh, this fucking podcast has 90 subscribers. Yeah. It must not be, you know, it just looks bad. Yeah. But is anybody really paying attention? I think they are. People are always talking about numbers.
People love numbers.
All the fucking time. People like, I'll get press kits. And like the first thing it'll be like, you know, like check out Billy Bob Joe Thug. You know what I mean? He's a rapper. He's gained 3 million views on YouTube. I'm like, word, like that's cool, but like that doesn't tell me nothing about his music.
I put that in my press kits. I put that in my press kits.
Everybody does.
You have to though, because it's like there's so many artists out there, and if you're coming out the bat and you're saying, okay, I am established. I have this many views. I have this many streams. Like, then it's like, okay, like clearly you have some sort of following. Yeah. Versus like, you know, that's what it goes to show. But like people put way too much on that.
Yeah, no, but the thing is like subconsciously I catch myself doing the same fucking thing because like say we're playing out of town, it'll be like, oh, you know, we're playing with this band. I never heard of them. I'll look them up, and immediately if I go on their Instagram page and like I'll see their followers, if it looks low, I'm like, oh, this band must not give a shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not an accurate thing to say. They can be passionate as hell. They just haven't had the chance to break out, or they're not fucking like, spamming their account or buying followers, which is like, that's the thing that a lot of people do. And that's the thing that pisses me off, that like with my friends that aren't in this shit, that like don't do music, they're just fans and friends. Whenever they get all excited, like, oh, did you see that video on YouTube already has 2 million views? I'm like, bro, you can fucking buy that shit. Like labels pay for that stuff, so it comes out the gate looking good.
Yeah.
So I'm just like so jaded when it comes to a lot of that shit too.
Yeah. People love those numbers.
But I mean, I see those numbers and like immediately I don't think, oh, this person has a lot of fans. I think this person has a lot of money to put into this music. Anytime I see those numbers, that's what that equals to me when I think it. You know what I mean? Like, sure, some genuine fan, but they're putting a lot of money into this, which is also another way to take something seriously, depending. To get it, you got to play the game a little bit to some extent, because a lot of people won't even click play on your shit if it has like 300 views. Be like, oh, whatever, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Move on. But if it has like 10 million views, you're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Why are people watching this? I want to watch this. Am I missing out on something?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be onto the hot shit all the time. So I don't know. Maybe you'll all of a sudden see 10 million plays on all my YouTube videos. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe.
Donate to the podcast so I can give it to Google. And yeah, I think we're good. Pick Patek.
Awesome.
Patek. Fuck, man, dude. I bet you get that all the time, and I apologize.
No, that's all
Pick
good.
Patek. Pick Patek. And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening one more time. Pick Patek.
Pick Patek, yes, sir.
Thanks for coming by. Be sure to check out Modern Art on Spotify. Look up his videos on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Don't look for him on Facebook. He ain't there, but he's on Instagram. I'll be back again in a couple days with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the Beat 2019. Whoop, woo! Thanks for listening.
Adios.
And we are good. Word. We did it.
Sweet.